Hello everyone. Welcome back to EchoMind English. I'm Jessica, your host for today. If you are new here, I want to let you know that we upload a new English learning video every single day to help you improve your English faster and more confidently. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive amazing upcoming lessons. Hello, my friend. Welcome to today's English practice session. Imagine that you are sitting here with me, like we are having a friendly talk. My goal is to help you not only listen to English, but also speak it naturally in your everyday life. Many learners spend a lot of time memorizing long word lists or studying difficult grammar, but today, we will focus on something more practical. Real conversations that happen every day. Think about how often you say simple things like, "Good morning," "How are you?" or "Can I have some water, please?" These small sentences may look easy, but they are the foundation of fluency. Native speakers use them all the time. When you practice these daily conversations again and again, your brain starts to think in English without translation. That is the real secret to becoming fluent. So, let's start with your morning. Imagine you wake up in the morning and see your roommate, your family member, or even a friend staying at your house. A very natural way to begin is to say, "Good morning. Did you sleep well?" This is a short question, but it shows care and interest. The other person might reply, "Yes, I slept well. What about you?" Then you can answer, "I slept okay. I think I need some coffee to wake up." Notice how this simple conversation has everything you need: a greeting, a question, and a reply. Practicing this kind of short exchange will make you more comfortable when you meet people in real life. If you practice every morning, you will never hesitate again when you say hello to someone in English. Now let's add another step to your morning routine. After greeting, you may want to talk about the weather or your plans for the day. For example, you can ask, "Is it going to rain today?" Or, "Do I need a jacket?" A friend or family member might reply, "Yes, bring an umbrella." Or, "It's a bit cold outside, so wear a sweater." These answers are useful because they show you how to give advice or share information. When you ask and reply like this, you are practicing sentence structures naturally. You don't need to memorize grammar rules. Instead, you are living the grammar through real conversations. That's why practicing small daily talk is much more powerful than just reading a textbook. Let's move to breakfast time. Imagine you are in the kitchen. You want to offer food politely. You can say, "Would you like some eggs?" Or, "Do you want toast or cereal?" The other person may reply, "I'll have toast, please." Or, "Just coffee for me today." Offering food is something we do every day. And when you use polite English in these moments, your speaking sounds friendly and natural. Now let's practice responding. If someone asks you, "Do you want sugar in your coffee?" you could say, "Yes, just a little," or "No, thank you. I like it black." These are common short replies that will make you sound like a natural speaker. The more you use them, the more automatic they will become. After breakfast, maybe you go out for coffee at a cafe. Imagine you enter the shop. The server greets you. Hi, what can I get for you? You can reply, I'd like a cappuccino, please. Or, can I have a medium latte? The server might then ask, hot or iced? And you say, hot, please. This type of conversation happens thousands of times around the world every day. If you can practice it, you will feel confident ordering food or drinks in English. Remember, confidence comes from repeating the same conversation many times until it feels easy. Next, the cashier may ask, anything else? And you reply, no, that's all. Thank you. These polite closings are important. They make you sound respectful and friendly. Every time you practice these small conversations, you are training your English brain to be ready for real life. Now imagine you are waiting for your coffee. Suddenly, you see a friend. A natural conversation may go like this. Hey, I didn't know you come here. Friend, yeah, I stop by every morning on my way to work. How's your job going? Friend, pretty good, just busy as usual. This is a perfect example of small talk. Small talk is short and casual, but it is very important. It helps you connect with people, practice simple questions, and keep a conversation alive. If you practice small talk often, you will be ready to chat with anyone, anywhere. Now let's move into another everyday place, the grocery store. Imagine you are shopping and you need help. You can approach a staff member and say, excuse me, where can I find the bread? The staff might reply, it's in aisle 5, next to the milk. You say, thank you very much. And they reply, you're welcome. This short dialogue is powerful because it teaches you how to ask for help politely and how to respond with gratitude. These are real-life English skills that you can use immediately. Let's add another example, asking about price. You might say, how much is this? Or, is this on sale? The staff may reply, it's $5, or yes, buy one, get one free. Learning this vocabulary will make your shopping easier and will give you confidence to speak English even when you need something quickly. Sometimes when you are shopping, you may also meet a friend. The conversation might go like this. Hey, fancy seeing you here. Friend, yeah, I was just picking up some things for dinner. Me too. I didn't feel like cooking, so I grabbed something quick. These casual chats are not rehearsed. They are natural, and that's what fluency is all about. Fluency means speaking without translating every word in your head. It's about reacting in the moment with short, natural sentences. Before we end this first part, let me give you one more important example. Asking for directions. Imagine you are walking in the city and you need help. You say, excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the post office? Someone may reply, sure, go straight and take the second left. It's next to the bank. You respond, thanks so much. And they reply, no problem. Have a great day. This conversation is not difficult, but it is extremely useful. It teaches you how to ask politely, how to listen for directions, and how to thank someone. These are real skills you can use anywhere in the world. The main lesson of part 1 is simple. Small conversations are the key to fluency. You don't need big, complex words to sound good in English. You just need to practice these everyday situations. Greeting someone, ordering food, shopping, asking for help, and making small talk. Each time you do it, your brain becomes faster and your speaking becomes smoother. So here's your task. Today, try one of these conversations in real life. Say good morning to someone, or ask politely for something in English. It may feel small, but it's actually a big step toward your fluency. Now let's continue practicing with another common situation, talking on the phone. Many learners feel nervous when they speak English on the phone because they cannot see the other person's face or body language. But don't worry, with practice, you will become comfortable. Imagine you call a friend to make plans. You begin with, "You. Hi, how are you?" Friend, "I'm good, thanks. What about you?" You, "I'm fine. I was thinking maybe we could have dinner tonight. Are you free?" Friend, "That sounds great. What time?" You, "Maybe around 7. Friend, "Perfect. See you then." This short phone conversation includes greetings, making a suggestion, checking availability, and confirming a plan. These are all useful skills you need in daily life. Now imagine a different phone call. You want to book an appointment at a doctor's office. You can say, "Hello, I'd like to make an appointment with the doctor, please." The receptionist might reply, "Sure. What day and time do you prefer?" You answer, "Tuesday morning if possible." They say, "Okay, we have a slot at 10 a.m. You reply, "That works for me. Thank you." This practice shows you how to speak clearly and politely on the phone, even in formal situations. Let's move to another place where you often use English, the kitchen. Cooking at home can be a chance to practice. Imagine you are cooking with a friend or partner. You might say, "Can you pass me the salt?" Or, "Do we have any onions left?" Your friend replies, "Yes, they're in the bottom drawer." Or, "No, we're out. Do you want me to run to the store?" You can answer, "That would be great. Thanks." Notice how these small exchanges include asking questions, giving answers, and offering help. They may look simple, but they make your English more natural. Now let's talk about conversations at work or at school. These settings often require you to use polite and professional English. Imagine you are at work and your coworker asks, "Did you finish the report?" You can reply, "Not yet. I'm still working on it. I'll send it by the end of the day." This answer is clear, polite, and professional. Or imagine you ask your colleague, "Do you have a minute to help me with something?" They say, "Sure. What do you need?" This simple exchange shows teamwork and cooperation. Practicing these kinds of questions and replies will help you sound confident in professional situations. In school, you may have conversations with classmates or teachers. For example, a student might ask, "Did you understand the assignment?" The other student replies, "A little. I think we have to write a summary of the article." Or You might ask your teacher, "Could you explain that again, please?" The teacher may answer, "Of course. Let me go over it one more time." These examples are valuable because they show how to ask for clarification and how to respond respectfully. They also help you practice politeness, which is very important in English-speaking cultures. Let's go outside now. Imagine you are walking in the park or waiting at a bus stop. A stranger might say, "Nice weather today, isn't it?" You can reply, "Yes, it's beautiful. Not too hot, not too cold." This is called small talk, and it's very common in English. Talking about the weather is one of the easiest ways to start a friendly conversation. You can also ask, "Do you come to this park often?" Or, "I love walking here in the evenings." These sentences are not only simple but also great for building confidence in casual conversations. At the bus stop, you may need information. You can ask, "Excuse me, do you know what time the next bus comes?" Someone might reply, "I think it's at 3:45, but sometimes it's a little late." You say, "Thanks for the info." This shows how useful English can be for everyday interactions. Even short conversations like this give you practice and make you feel more fluent. Now let's imagine going to the doctor. This situation can be stressful, but practicing it will prepare you. You arrive at the clinic and say, "Hello, I have an appointment at 10 o'clock. The receptionist asks, "What's your name?" You reply, "It's Sarah Khan." They say, "Okay, please have a seat. The doctor will see you shortly." Later with the doctor, the conversation continues. "Doctor, what seems to be the problem today?" You, "I've had a headache for 2 days." Doctor, "Do you have any other symptoms?" You, "Yes, just a slight fever and a sore throat." This conversation teaches you how to describe your health problems. It also shows how to answer follow-up questions. Practicing these sentences will make you feel calmer and more confident if you ever visit a doctor in an English-speaking country. Now imagine going to the bank. You walk in and say, "Hi, I'd like to open a new account." The banker replies, "Of course, may I see your ID?" You give your ID, and they ask, "Do you want a savings account or a checking account?" You respond, "I think a checking account will work for me." These formal conversations are also part of daily life. They show you how to handle money matters in English. Let's go to a restaurant now. When you arrive, the server might say, "Hi, welcome. Table for one?" You reply, "Yes, just me." They lead you to your table and give you a menu. Later they ask, "Are you ready to order?" You can say, "Yes, I'll have the grilled chicken with rice, please." The server may ask, "Would you like anything to drink?" You answer, "Just water, thank you." These sentences are practical. They help you order food politely. At the end, when you are ready to pay, the server may ask, "Would you like the bill?" You reply, "Yes, please." Then they bring it, and you ask, "Can I pay by card?" They reply, "Yes, of course." You pay, then say, "Thank you, the food was great." And the server replies, We're glad you enjoyed it. Have a nice day. This final exchange is important because it shows how to close a conversation politely. When you end an interaction with kind words, you leave a good impression. As you can see, all these examples, phone calls, cooking, school, work, doctor visits, banks, and restaurants are full of simple but powerful English. They may not look difficult, but they are exactly what you need for fluency. The lesson of part 2 is this: practice conversations from different parts of your life. Don't wait for a perfect situation. Instead, practice everywhere. At home, in the park, in the store, on the phone, or at work. Every short conversation and you practice is another step toward confidence. So here's your practice challenge. Choose one of today's examples and repeat it aloud 5 times. Then, if you can, try it in real life. Maybe order coffee in English or ask a classmate for help in English. These small steps are what make you fluent. In the last part, we practiced many conversations at work, in school, at the doctor's office, and even at restaurants. Now, let's continue with more daily life situations that you are very likely to face. Remember, the goal is to make English a part of your everyday routine. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Let's begin with something very simple but very common. Talking about the weather. In many English-speaking countries, the weather is one of the most popular topics of conversation. Why? Because it's easy, it's polite, and it's something everyone can relate to. Imagine you are outside and you meet your neighbor. They smile and say, "Nice day, isn't it?" You can reply, "Yes, it's beautiful. The sun is shining." Or if it's rainy, you can say, "Yes, it's wet and cold. I can't wait for the sun to come back." These little exchanges may last only a few seconds, but they help you practice real English. You can also add questions like, "Do you think it will rain later?" Or, "Is it always this hot in summer here?" These questions keep the conversation alive. Talking about the weather is also a way to start a longer conversation. For example, "It's really windy today." Neighbor, "Yes, it is. I hope it doesn't get worse." You, "Do you usually walk to work in this weather?" Neighbor, "Sometimes, but today I'll take the bus." From a simple comment about the weather, you now have a conversation that includes personal habits and daily routines. Now let's imagine you are traveling. Asking for directions is one of the most useful skills. Suppose you are in a new city and you want to find the train station. You can say, "Excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the train station?" A kind stranger may reply, "Go straight for 2 blocks, then turn left at the traffic light. The station will be on your right." You answer, "Thank you very much," and they say, "You're welcome." The most important part here is politeness. Always start with, "Excuse me," and always finish with, "Thank you." This makes your English sound polite and natural. Now let's imagine you are at the airport. These conversations can feel stressful because airports are busy, but they usually follow the same patterns. At the check-in desk, you say, "Good morning, I have a flight to London." The staff asks, "May I see your passport, please?" You hand over your passport and reply, "Here you go." Then they ask, "Do you have any luggage to check in?" You answer, "Yes, one suitcase." The staff may then say, "All right, your gate number is 12 amperes. Boarding starts at 9:30. You reply, "Thank you very much." Even though this conversation is short, it's extremely important to practice. If you prepare these sentences in advance, you will feel calm and confident when you travel. Now, let's move to another common situation: emergencies or unexpected problems. Of course, we all hope nothing bad happens, but being prepared can make a big difference. For example, imagine you are at a hotel and the air conditioning in your room is not working. You call the front desk and say, "Hi, the air conditioning in my room isn't working properly." The receptionist replies, "I'm sorry to hear that. We'll send someone to fix it right away." You say, "Thank you, I appreciate it." This type of conversation teaches you how to report a problem politely and how to receive help. Another situation could be losing something. Imagine you are in a restaurant and you realize your phone is missing. You go to the staff and say, "Excuse me, I think I lost my phone here. Has anyone found it?" The staff may reply, "Yes, someone turned in a phone. Can you describe it?" You answer, "It's a black phone with a blue case." They check and say, "Yes, here it is." You say, "Thank you so much." This is real, useful English. You are not just practicing vocabulary, but also practicing how to stay calm and explain clearly. Sometimes you may need to call emergency services. Hopefully you will never need this, but it's important to know how. Why? You might say, "Hello, I need an ambulance. Someone has fainted." The operator will ask, "What is your location?" And you reply, "We're at the corner of Main Street and 5th Avenue. They say, "Help is on the way. Please stay on the line." In these cases, clarity is more important than perfect grammar. Speak slowly, clearly, and give the exact information. Now let's talk about hobbies and interests. These conversations are fun and help you connect with people. Imagine someone asks you, "What do you like to do in your free time?" You can say, "I love painting. It helps me relax." Or, "I enjoy reading mystery novels." If someone asks, "Do you like sports?" you can say, "Yes, I play football every weekend." Or, "Not really, I prefer watching movies." Sharing your hobbies is a great way to practice vocabulary about activities, emotions, and preferences. It also helps others learn more about you. You can also talk about future plans. Suppose someone asks, "Do you have any plans for the holidays?" You can reply, "Yes, I'm planning to visit my grandparents." Or, "I think I'll take a short trip to the beach." Asking about future plans and answering in English will make you more confident in using the future tense naturally. Now let's practice conversations about feelings and emotions. Being able to say how you feel is very important. You might say, "I'm feeling a bit tired today," or "I'm really happy because I passed my exam." If your friend says, "I'm feeling stressed," you can reply, "I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want to talk about it?" This shows care and empathy. Talking about emotions in English makes your conversations warmer and more human. It also teaches you to use emotional vocabulary like tired, happy, stressed, excited, or relaxed. Finally, let's think about the end of the day. At night, you might come home and say, "Hey, how was your day?" Your family member replies, "It was good, just a bit tiring. How about yours?" You answer, "Same here. Work was busy, but I'm glad to be home now." This simple conversation helps you share experiences and feelings. Before bed, you might also say, "Good night, sleep well." And the other person replies, "Good night, sweet dreams." These short sentences may look small, but they are full of love and kindness. Practicing them makes your English warm and natural. The key lesson of part 3 is this: English is not only about information, it's also about connection. Whether you are talking about the weather, asking for directions, describing your feelings, or sharing your hobbies, you are building relationships through language. And the more you practice these conversations, the more fluent and confident you will become. So here's your practice task. Today, try talking about your feelings in English. Say to yourself, "I feel happy today because," or "I feel tired today because." Do this every day, and soon you will express your emotions in English without thinking. In the last part, we practice conversations about the weather, traveling, emergencies, feelings, and hobbies. Now, let's continue with even more useful situations that will help you speak English in daily life. Remember, the goal is not perfection. The goal is practice. Every time you use English, even in short sentences, you get closer to fluency. Let's start with shopping conversations. Imagine you walk into a clothing store. A shop assistant comes up and says, "Hi there. Can I help you find anything?" You can reply, "Yes, I'm looking for a pair of jeans." The assistant may then ask, "What size do you wear?" You can answer, "I usually wear a medium, but I'm not sure." They might say, "Let me grab a couple of options for you to try on." You reply, "That would be great. Thank you." This short exchange teaches you how to ask for help politely, explain what you need, and respond naturally. Now let's go to the cashier. You put your clothes on the counter and say, "Hi, I'd like to pay for these." The cashier might ask, "Would you like to pay by card or cash?" You can reply, "Card, please." Then they ask, "Would you like a receipt?" You say, "Yes, please." These are some of the most common phrases you will hear in shops. When you practice them, you won't feel nervous when you go shopping in an English-speaking country. Even better, you can use these sentences every time you shop online or in real life. Now let's move to transportation and travel. Suppose you are taking a taxi. You get in and say, "Hi, can you take me to Central Park?" The driver replies, "Sure, hop in." Then you ask, "How long will it take?" The driver might say, "About 20 minutes depending on traffic." After you arrive, you ask, "How much is it?" The driver replies, $15. You give the money and say, "Keep the change." "Thank you." The driver responds, "Thanks. Have a good day." This type of conversation is short and simple, but extremely practical. It helps you communicate quickly and clearly in a busy environment. If you are on a bus or subway, you may need to ask someone, "Excuse me, does this bus go to the city center?" They may reply, "Yes, it does. Get off at the 5th stop." Or if you are at a train station, you can ask, "Where can I buy a ticket to New York?" Someone may point and say, "Over there at counter number 2. These exchanges help you practice asking questions and understanding directions. Now let's imagine an airport conversation. You go to the check-in counter and say, "Good morning. I have a flight to Paris." The staff member replies, "May I see your passport, please?" You say, "Here you go." Then they ask, "Do you have any luggage to check in?" You answer, "Yes, 1 suitcase." They say, "All right, your gate number is 15 amperes. Boarding starts at 10:30. You reply, "Thank you very much." Even if you are nervous when traveling, these short, polite sentences will make the process much easier. Now let's practice problem situations. Imagine you are staying at a hotel and something goes wrong. You call the front desk and say, "Hi, the shower in my room isn't working." The receptionist says, "I'm sorry to hear that. We'll send someone to fix it right away." You reply, "Thank you. I appreciate it." Or maybe you lose something. You can go to the hotel desk and say, "Excuse me, I lost my wallet. Has anyone found it?" The staff may ask, "Can you describe it?" You reply, "It's a brown leather wallet with my ID inside." If they find it, they will return it and you can say, "Thank you so much. That's a relief." Learning how to report problems politely is very useful. It gives you confidence in unexpected situations. Now let's practice expressing preferences. When you meet new people, they often ask about your likes and dislikes. You can say, "I really enjoy listening to music when I cook," or "I'm not a fan of horror movies." If someone asks, "Do you like spicy food?" you can answer, "A little. Not too spicy though." Talking about preferences helps you share your personality. It also makes conversations more interesting. You don't need to know many difficult words. Just use simple sentences like "I like," "I enjoy," "I don't really like," or "I'm not a fan of." Another important skill is giving compliments and showing appreciation. Compliments make conversations more positive. For example, you can say, "I love your dress. It looks great on you." Or, "Thanks for helping me today. I really appreciate it." In return, the other person may say, Thanks, that means a lot. Or, no problem. Happy to help. Compliments. Build relationships. And make your English sound warm and friendly. Now let's learn how to end conversations politely. Suppose you are talking with someone, but you need to leave. You can say, "It was great talking to you, but I have to go now." Or, "Let's catch up soon." The other person may reply, "Sure, talk to you later," or "Take care." Ending conversations in a respectful way is just as important as starting them. Next, let's go to the library, post office, and pharmacy. These are community places where you might need English. At the library, you? "Hi, I'd like to borrow this book." Librarian, "Sure. Do you have your library card?" You, "Yes, here it is." Librarian, "This book is due back in 2 weeks." You, "Thank you. Have a nice day." At the post office, you, "Hello, I'd like to send this package to Canada." Staff, "Do you want standard or express delivery?" You, "Standard, please." "How much is it?" Staff, "That will be $12. You, "Okay, here you go." At the pharmacy, you, "Hi, I'm here to pick up a prescription." Pharmacist, "What's the name on the prescription?" You, "It's Maria Lopez." Pharmacist, "Okay, I found it. Do you have any questions about the medicine?" You, "Yes, how often should I take it?" Pharmacist, 1 tablet every 8 hours with food. You, "Got it. Thank you." Each of these short exchanges is practical and easy. They prepare you for real-life situations and give you confidence to speak English outside the classroom. The key lesson of part 4 is this: English is everywhere. In shops, in taxis, at airports, in hotels, in libraries, or even in a short chat with your neighbor. Every situation is a chance to practice. You don't need long speeches. You just need short, polite, useful sentences. So here's your practice challenge. Today, when you go shopping or visit a public place, try one short English sentence. Say, "Excuse me, can you help me?" Or, "How much is this?" The more you practice, the easier it becomes. In the last part, we explored shopping, travel, transportation, and community places like the library, post office, and pharmacy. Now, let's keep building with more daily life. Conversations that you can use instantly. Remember, fluency comes from repeating real, simple sentences in real situations. Let's start with conversations with neighbors and community members. Suppose you live in an apartment building and you meet your neighbor in the hallway. You can say, "Hi, how's it going?" They may smile and reply, "Pretty good, thanks. Just got back from work." You can continue, "How was your day?" And they might say, "Busy, but I'm glad it's over." You answer, "Same here. Have a good evening." This exchange is very short, but it builds a friendly connection. Practicing such casual conversations will help you feel more confident when speaking with people around you. Sometimes you may need to ask a neighbor for help. For example, you knock on the door and say, "Hi, sorry to bother you, but could I borrow your screwdriver for a few minutes?" The neighbor replies, "Sure, no problem. Let me grab it for you." You respond, "Thanks so much. I'll return it soon." Later, when you give it back, you say, "Thanks again. That really helped." The neighbor may answer, "You're welcome anytime." This type of practice teaches you how to make polite requests and show gratitude. These small interactions are valuable because they reflect how English is really used in daily life. Now let's move to fitness and exercise conversations. Imagine you go to the gym for the first time. At the front desk, you say, "Hi, I'd like to sign up for a membership." The staff replies, "Sure, we have monthly and yearly plans. Which one would you prefer?" You answer, "I'll start with the monthly plan." They may ask, "Would you like access to group classes as well?" You reply, "Yes, I'd like to try the yoga class." Later, inside the gym, you might meet a trainer. The trainer says, "Is this your first time working out here?" You answer, "Yes, I'm just starting." The trainer replies, "Okay, let's start with some light exercises today." You respond, "That sounds good. Thanks for helping me." These conversations are not only practical but also motivational. They allow you to practice polite and respectful English while talking about your health and fitness goals. Now, let's imagine you are traveling with a friend in a new city. You might say, "I'm getting hungry. Do you want to eat somewhere?" Your friend says, "Yeah, let's look for a place." You find a restaurant and say, "This place looks good. Want to try it?" They reply, "Sure, let's check it out." When you enter, the host says, "Table for two?" And you answer, "Yes, please." After sitting down, you look at the menu and say, "I think I'll get the grilled chicken salad." Your friend says, "I'm going for the cheeseburger." You can suggest, "Let's share some fries too." When the server comes, you say, "I'd like the grilled chicken salad, please, and we'll also have a side of fries." These sentences help you practice being clear and polite when ordering. At the end of the meal, when the server asks, "Would you like any dessert?" you can reply, "No, thank you. Just the check, please." When they bring it, you ask, "Can I pay by card?" They say, "Yes, that's fine." You reply, "Thank you. The food was great." Practicing these dining conversations prepares you for real-life experiences and makes you confident when eating out. Now let's think about talking about goals and routines. These conversations are useful with friends, classmates, or even coworkers. Imagine someone asks, "What are your goals for this year?" You can say, "I want to improve my English and read more books." They may respond, "That's a great idea. I want to exercise more and eat healthier." You can also talk about your daily routine. For example, "I usually wake up at 6 a.m., do some stretching, and then have breakfast." The other person may say, "That sounds like a productive start to the day." Talking about your routine helps you practice verbs in the present tense. and share useful details about your life. Now let's shift to study and productivity conversations. Imagine a friend asks, "How do you stay focused while studying?" You might reply, "I try to keep my phone away and study in short sessions." Or someone might say, "I've been learning English by watching videos and reading books." You can respond, "That's great. I do that too. It really helps." These conversations are practical because they give you vocabulary for learning, studying, and self-improvement. They also let you exchange ideas with others in English. Now imagine you are planning a weekend trip. You say, "I was thinking of going to the mountains this Saturday." Your friend replies, "That sounds fun. How long is the drive?" You answer, "About 3 hours. We can leave early in the morning." They may suggest, "Should we pack snacks and water?" You say, "Yes, and maybe some extra clothes in case it gets cold." This type of conversation teaches you how to plan ahead and use the future tense naturally. Talking about trips, schedules, and preparation is great practice for building fluency. When you return from the trip, you can describe your experience. You might say, "The view from the top of the mountain was amazing." Your friend replies, "I can imagine. Did you take any photos?" You answer, "Yes, I got some great shots of the sunset." They may ask, "Was it crowded?" And you can say, "A little, but it was peaceful overall." These storytelling conversations are powerful because they help you use the past tense and descriptive language. They also allow you to share your experiences in an engaging way. Now let's practice offering and asking for help. Imagine a friend says, "Can you help me move this table?" You can reply, "Sure, let me grab one side." Or someone says, "I'm having trouble with this app." You can reply, "Let me take a look." These short exchanges teach you useful verbs like help, grab, fix, lift, and check. They also show how to cooperate in everyday life. Sometimes things go wrong, and you need to show concern. For example, if someone says, "I lost my wallet," you can reply, "Oh no, do you remember where you last had it?" Or, "Let's retrace your steps," offering comfort with words like, "Don't worry, we'll find it," or "Let's call the place where you were earlier," shows empathy. These are very natural and kind ways to respond. Another important skill is apologizing and responding to apologies. Imagine you say, "I'm sorry, I forgot to reply to your message." The other person may say, "It's okay. I know you were busy." You can add, "Thanks for understanding. I didn't mean to ignore you." This shows sincerity and respect. Apologizing is more than just saying sorry. It's about tone and kindness. The key lesson of Part 5 is this: English is not only for big events. It is also for small everyday interactions, saying hello to your neighbor, ordering food, planning a trip, helping a friend, or apologizing. These small steps build your confidence, and little by little, they turn into fluency. So here's your practice challenge. Today, try one helpful conversation. offer help in English, or ask for help in English. Even a simple, "Can you help me with this?" will bring you one step closer to fluency. In the last part, we practice conversations with neighbors, at the gym, traveling with friends, and even planning trips. We also learned how to ask for help, show concern, and apologize. Now let's continue with more real-life conversations that will give you confidence in every situation. Let's begin with talking about likes and dislikes. This is one of the most natural ways to connect with others. Imagine someone asks, "Do you like spicy food?" You can reply, "A little, not too spicy though." Or if they ask, "What kind of movies do you like?" you might say, "I really enjoy comedies because they make me laugh." You could also say, "I'm not a big fan of horror movies." These simple sentences help you practice expressing your preferences. You don't need advanced vocabulary. Just use phrases like, "I like," "I enjoy," "I don't really like," or "I'm not a fan of." That's enough to keep the conversation going. Now let's move to giving compliments and appreciation. Compliments make your English sound warm and friendly. For example, you can say, "You did a great job on your presentation today," or "I love your new hairstyle. It suits you." When someone helps you, you can say, "Thanks for helping me today. I really appreciate it." The other person may reply, "Thanks, that means a lot," or "No problem, happy to help." Practicing compliments teaches you not only vocabulary but also positive communication. Compliments open the door to more conversation and stronger relationships. Next, let's look at ending conversation politely. Sometimes you don't know how to finish a talk in English without sounding rude. Here are some natural ways. "It was great talking to you. I have to go now, but let's catch up soon. Talk to you later. Take care. Have a good day." These phrases are short, but very effective. They let you end the conversation while keeping it friendly. Now let's practice digital communication. In today's world, we spend a lot of time online, so it's important to practice English for texting, messaging, and emails. For casual texts, you might write, "You. Hey, are you free this weekend?" Friend. "I think so. Why? What's up?" You. "I was thinking we could go hiking or maybe see a movie." Friend. "Sounds fun. Let's decide by Friday." This short exchange is typical in casual English texting. It helps you learn how to write clearly and quickly. For professional texts or emails, you need a more formal tone. For example, you write, "Just checking if we have a meeting tomorrow." The other person replies, "Yes, it's at 10 a.m. Don't forget to bring your notes." You can answer, "Thanks for the reminder. See you then." In emails, you might write, "Dear Mr. Davis, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to confirm if the meeting is still scheduled for Thursday at 2 p.m. And the reply could be, "Yes, the meeting is confirmed. Let me know if you have any questions." You then reply, "Thanks for confirming. I'll be ready with the presentation." Practicing both casual and formal digital English will help you in social life and professional life. Now let's move into housework and chores conversations. Even simple daily activities give you chances to practice English. Imagine you say, "Can you help me fold the laundry?" The other person replies, "Sure, just give me 5 minutes." You respond, "Thanks. I'll start with the shirts." Or maybe while cleaning, you say, "Let's vacuum the living room next." The other person replies, "Good idea. I'll get the vacuum cleaner." These small conversations are full of useful verbs like fold, clean, wash, vacuum, mop, and cook. Practicing them in your daily life helps you learn English naturally without needing to study a list of vocabulary words. Now let's imagine you are planning something for the weekend. You might say, "Do you have any plans this weekend?" The other person answers, "Not yet. I might just relax." You can suggest, "If you're free on Sunday, we could grab lunch." They may reply, "That sounds nice. Let's do it." This type of conversation is very common among friends. It teaches you how to make invitations, respond politely, and confirm plans. Sometimes you may want to talk about special occasions and celebrations. Imagine saying, "Tomorrow is my sister's birthday. I want to get her something nice." Your friend may suggest, "How about a book? She loves reading." You reply, "That's a great idea. I'll check the bookstore after work." Or during holidays, you might say, "We usually visit our grandparents during New Year's." Someone may reply, "That sounds lovely. Do you have any family traditions?" You can answer, "Yes, we cook together and play games." These conversations are warm and personal. They help you connect with others while practicing clear, simple English. Now let's practice talking about entertainment and preferences. Imagine you're watching a movie with a friend. You can say, "That was funnier than I expected," or "The ending was really surprising." Your friend may say, "I agree. The story was interesting," or "I didn't like the ending. It felt too rushed." Learning to give opinions is an important skill. You don't always have to agree. Sometimes you can say, "I see your point, but I think differently." This helps you practice more expressive English and keeps conversations interesting. Another area is supportive conversations. Sometimes a friend feels sad or stressed. Imagine your friend says, "I've been feeling down lately." You can reply, "I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want to talk about it?" They may say, "I just feel stuck and unmotivated." You can answer, "That's completely normal. We all go through tough times. I'm here for you." Supportive language helps you practice empathy and kindness. It also shows you how to use soft, encouraging words in English. Finally, let's talk about reflection and gratitude. At the end of the day, you might say to yourself, "It's been a long day, but I'm proud of what I got done." Or, "I'm grateful for my family and friends." You can also tell someone, "Thanks for being there today. It meant a lot." These sentences are not only good practice for past tense, but they also help you develop a positive mindset in English. The more you reflect and express gratitude, the more natural your English will sound. The main lesson of part 6 is this: English is not only for asking for things or giving information. It's also for sharing emotions, building relationships, showing appreciation, and reflecting on your life. The more you practice these human conversations, the more natural and confident your English will become. So here's your practice challenge. Tonight, before you go to bed, say one sentence of gratitude in English. For example, I'm grateful for my health, or I'm thankful for my friends. Do this every night. It will train your brain to think in English and to express feelings naturally. In the last part, we practice conversations about likes and dislikes, compliments, digital communication, housework, weekend plans, and even supportive conversations. Now let's continue with new everyday situations where English can help you connect, solve problems, and express yourself. Let's begin with visiting friends at home. Imagine you arrive at your friend's house. You can say, "Hi, thanks for inviting me over." Your friend may reply, "I'm glad you could come. Make yourself at home." You answer, "This place is so nice. Did you decorate it yourself?" They might say, "Yes, I did. I enjoy decorating." You can respond, "It looks amazing." During the visit, you may have simple exchanges like, Can I get you anything to drink?" Friend, "Just some water, please." Or, friend, "Would you like some tea?" Yes, please. That would be great. These small conversations are polite and natural. They show how to be a good guest or a good host in English. Now let's go to the workplace. Many people need English at work, so let's practice. Suppose you are in an office. A coworker asks, "Could you help me with this report?" You can reply, "Sure, give me a few minutes." Later, you might say, "Do you have time to go over this presentation with me?" They reply, "Of course. Let's review it together." Another workplace conversation could be in a meeting. Your manager says, "Does anyone have updates on this project?" You reply, "Yes, we finished the first stage and are moving to the next step." Or maybe someone says, "Can we reschedule the meeting for tomorrow?" And you reply, "That works for me." Practicing work English helps you communicate clearly and professionally. You don't need complicated words, just short, polite sentences. Now let's talk about food shopping at the supermarket. Imagine you're at the checkout. The cashier asks, "Did you find everything okay?" You can reply, "Yes, thank you." They might say, "Do you need a bag?" And you answer, "Yes, please." Then they say, "That will be $23. You reply, "Here's my card." Finally, they say, "Have a nice day." And you answer, "Thanks. You too." These supermarket conversations may look simple, but they are very real and very common. Practicing them makes you ready for everyday shopping. Now let's imagine going to the coffee shop. You walk in and say, "Hi, can I have a medium latte, please?" The barista replies, "Would you like it hot or iced?" You answer, "Hot, please." They ask, "Do you want any sugar?" And you reply, "Just a little." When your drink is ready, they say, "Here's your latte." And you reply, "Thanks very much." At the coffee shop, you might also meet someone. For example, you. Hi, is this seat taken? Stranger. No, go ahead. You. Thanks. By the way, do you come here often? Stranger. Yes, I love this place. The coffee is great. This shows how a simple question can start a friendly chat. Now let's practice health and fitness conversations. Imagine you're at the doctor's office. The doctor asks, "What seems to be the problem?" You reply, "I've been coughing for 3 days." The doctor may ask, "Do you have a fever?" You say, "Yes, a slight one." Then the doctor says, "Okay, I'll prescribe some medicine." You reply, "Thank you." Or imagine you're at the pharmacy. You say, "Do you have anything for a headache?" The pharmacist replies, "Yes, you can try this medicine. Take 1 tablet every 6 hours." You answer, "Thank you, I'll take it." Practicing these health conversations helps you describe your symptoms clearly. That can be very important when you need help. Now let's move to making appointments. Suppose you call the dentist. You say, "Hi, I'd like to make an appointment." The receptionist replies, "Sure. What day and time work best for you?" You answer, "Friday morning, if possible." They say, "We have a slot at 10 a.m. You reply, "That's perfect. Thank you." Or maybe you want to meet a friend. You say, "Are you free tomorrow evening?" They reply, "Yes, after 7. You answer, "Great. Let's have dinner together." These short exchanges are useful both for personal life and for professional life. Now let's think about public transportation conversations. Imagine you're on a bus and you're not sure where to get off. You ask, "Excuse me, does this bus stop near the museum?" The passenger replies, "Yes, just get off at the 3rd stop." You say, "Thanks a lot." At the train station, you might say, "Where can I buy a ticket to Boston?" The staff member replies, "At the counter over there." You say, "Thank you very much." These little exchanges make traveling smoother and less stressful. Now let's practice social conversations at school or university. Imagine you meet a new classmate. You say, "Hi, I'm Emma. What's your name?" They reply, "I'm Daniel. Nice to meet you." You answer, "Nice to meet you too. Where are you from?" They reply, "I'm from Mexico." You can say, "That's cool. How long have you been here?" This type of small talk is simple but powerful for making friends. You can also talk about classes. For example, did you understand today's lesson? Classmate, "Not really. It was difficult." I know. Maybe we can study together. Classmate, "That's a good idea." These conversations are great for practicing teamwork and building connections with others in English. Another important skill is expressing opinions politely. Imagine someone says, "I love rainy days." You can reply, "Really? I prefer sunny weather, but rain is nice sometimes too." Or if someone says, "This movie was boring," you can say, "I thought it was interesting, but I understand your point." Agreeing and disagreeing politely helps you sound respectful and confident. Finally, let's talk about daily reflections. At night, you can say to your family, "How was your day?" They might answer, "It was good, just busy." You reply, "Same here. I'm glad to be home now." Before bed, you can say, "Good night. Sleep well." And they reply, "Good night, sweet dreams." These small exchanges are full of love, kindness, and natural English. Practicing them will make your conversations warmer and more fluent. The key lesson of Part 7 is this: English is part of your daily routine. Whether you're visiting friends, shopping, traveling, working, or studying, you are always surrounded by opportunities to practice. Don't wait for a big moment. Instead, use every small conversation to improve. So here's your practice challenge. Tomorrow, when you order a drink, a meal, or even buy something at a shop, try speaking English politely. Use please and thank you. Those two words alone will make your English sound more natural and respectful. In the last part, we practice conversations about visiting friends, work, shopping, coffee shops, health, school, and expressing opinions. Now, in this final section, let's connect everything together and finish strong with more daily life conversations that are simple, practical, and powerful. Let's begin with travel and sightseeing. Imagine you are visiting a new city. You go to the information desk and say, "Excuse me, could you recommend some places to visit around here?" The staff replies, "Sure, the art museum is popular, and the river walk is beautiful." You can respond, "That sounds great. How do I get there?" They may say, "Take bus number 12. It stops right in front of the museum." You say, "Thank you very much." Later, while sightseeing, you may want to take a photo. You can ask a stranger, "Excuse me, could you take a picture of us, please?" The stranger replies, "Of course, just press this button." You answer, "Yes, that's right. Thank you." These short exchanges are very practical when traveling and help you sound polite and friendly. Now let's talk about shopping for groceries at the market. You might say, "How much are these apples?" The seller replies, $2 a pound. You answer, "I'll take 2 pounds, please." Or you may ask, "Do you have any fresh bread today?" And the seller says, "Yes, it's right over there." You respond, "Great, I'll take 1 loaf." Markets and supermarkets are full of these short but useful conversations. Practicing them will make your English strong in everyday life. Now imagine you are at the bank. You walk in and say, "Hi, I'd like to open a new account." The banker replies, "Of course. Do you have your ID with you?" You answer, "Yes, here it is." Then they ask, "Would you like a checking account or a savings account?" You say, "I think a savings account, please." These short sentences are formal but easy. They help you practice polite, professional English. Next, let's move to ordering online or by phone. You might call a store and say, "Hello, I'd like to order a pizza for delivery." The staff replies, "Sure, what size would you like?" You answer, "Large, please." They ask, "What toppings would you like?" You say, "Cheese, mushrooms, and peppers." They reply, "Okay, your total is $12. It will arrive in 30 minutes." You answer, "Perfect, thank you." Ordering food, shopping online, or making calls are all part of daily English life. Practicing these conversations will prepare you for modern everyday tasks. Now let's talk about public places like the library or park. At the library, you might say, "Excuse me, where can I find books on history?" The librarian replies, "They're on the second floor, in the left corner." You answer, "Thank you very much." At the park, you might meet someone walking their dog. You say, "Your dog is so cute. What's his name?" The person replies, "Thanks. His name is Max." You answer, "He looks very friendly." These little conversations make social life enjoyable and natural. Now let's practice emergencies and safety one last time. Imagine you need help. You can say, "Excuse me, I need a doctor." "Where is the nearest hospital?" Someone replies, "It's 2 blocks away, on the right." Or if you lose something important, you can ask, "Has anyone seen a black backpack? I think I left it here." Someone may reply, "Yes, I saw one near the bench." You answer, "Thank you so much." These short but important conversations help you stay safe and calm. Even in difficult situations, English can give you the words you need. Now let's move to future plans and dreams. These conversations are inspiring and help you use the future tense naturally. Imagine a friend asks, "What are your plans for the summer?" You might say, "I'm planning to travel to another city," or "I want to spend more time with my family." If someone asks, "What's your dream job?" you can reply, "I'd like to be a teacher," or "I want to start my own business." These answers are simple, but they give you practice in sharing goals and dreams in English. Now let's practice reviewing and storytelling. Imagine a friend asks, "How was your weekend?" You can say, "It was great. I went to the park with my family and we had a picnic." Or, "It was okay. I just stayed home and watched movies." Storytelling is one of the best ways to practice English because it uses past tense, details, and emotions. You can also share reviews of experiences. For example, "The new restaurant was amazing. The food was delicious, and the service was friendly." Or, "The movie was too long, but the music was nice." These sentences are simple but very useful in daily conversation. Now let's think about encouragement and motivation. Sometimes people need support. If a friend says, "I'm nervous about my exam," you can reply, "You've studied hard. I'm sure you'll do well." Or if someone says, "I don't feel confident speaking English," you can say, "Don't worry, just keep practicing. You're improving every day." Encouragement is not only good practice, it also builds stronger relationships. Finally, let's talk about daily endings and gratitude. At night, you can say to your family, "Thanks for dinner. It was delicious." They might reply, "You're welcome. I'm glad you liked it." Or before sleeping, you can say, "Good night. See you in the morning." And they reply, "Good night, sweet dreams." These small exchanges make your English sound warm, natural, and full of care. So, what's the big lesson of Part 8 and of the whole series? It's this: English fluency comes from practice in everyday life. You don't need long, complicated sentences. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need to use English every day in the store, in the park, at work, at home, online, and with friends. Every hello, every thank you, every small talk about the weather or the bus schedule is a step closer to fluency. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Step by step, word by word, you will grow confident. So here's your final challenge. Pick 3 conversations from this series and practice them out loud today. Say them 5 times each. Imagine yourself in the situation. Speak clearly, slowly, and with confidence. Then, try to use at least one of those conversations in real life. That is how fluency begins. Remember, English is not something you learn only from books. English is something you live every single day. Fluency does not come in one day, but with daily practice like this, your progress will be faster than you think. So keep listening, keep shadowing, keep speaking, and keep telling your stories. Every single practice session is a step closer to mastery. Thank you for joining me today on EchoMind English. Remember, the more you practice, the more natural your English will become. Stay consistent, stay confident, and keep moving forward. I'll see you in the next lesson.